Hi everyone, welcome to my studio. I have the world's biggest mess going on right now, and I have been pulling things out of my closet over there, and I haven't ever shown you inside, so you're not really going to see how big of a difference, how big of a difference I'm hoping this is going to be whenever I'm done and I have everything sorted. So I thought I would just take you in the closet really quick and just show you um, what's in there, and then I'm going to get back to work because this is the stage that I don't like whenever it comes to reorganizing my studio. And it always goes through this. I've reorganized my art space so many times over the years. Um, I have gone from only being able to have space on the kitchen table to, having like a computer desk to, I've gone through like all the levels, and then after I got into a little bit larger space, it took a while for me to figure out how I wanted things. And it was just utter chaos and mayhem from the middle point. And I'm kind of at the middle point. So I keep on telling myself that when this is done, it's going to be awesome. But right now it's in my studio exploded all over my bedroom phase. So I'm gonna take you in the closet and show you what's going on in there. I imagine this will probably be a two-parter. I'll show you kind of what I've done so far, and then I'll check in later tonight and just bundle it all up in one video. So I'm gonna flip you around so that you can see what's going on in this space. See, look, it's awful. It's awful. It's awful, and it's starting to stress me out. But I'll show you what's going on, and then I'll check back in later this evening. Okay, so just from flipping the phone around and standing exactly where I was, here's the bookshelf area so far. I did get my record player set up last night, and I'm really going all over the place with what to do with here. I will go in depth later tonight with all that because I imagine some of that might change. I'm not sure. This is a lot. Well, this is a lot of stuff that was in the closet, stuff up here on my counter, all of this. This is all things that were in my closet. I did take those drawer units out. I'm still working on all of that also. There's some of them. The other ones are in here. I did move my collage elements in here. All my collage all my images are in there sorted by category. So this is all recycle, and here's my closet. I've got clothes on that side, but this is what's going on. And it's, whenever I first, of course, had it all in here, it was all organized and it looked decent and nice and tidy. And this side just it just gets to where I have things piled up down here so much that it's difficult for me to open the door, and I am trying to remedy that. So all of the things that were here, I had a lot of journals, some that I had started working on. A lot of them were just books that I thought would be nice to use as journals. I've had a lot of books up here that were ones that I clip words and phrases from. So I pulled those out and I actually kind of weeded those down a bit to just a few, just projects and things that I was working on up there. I had some bins here. One was full of tissue paper, and I went through that and got together a big old bag of tissue paper. I'm not sure if I'm going to donate that, or I'll probably just put it in a big Ziploc bag and donate that. But then I think I had another bin that has joss paper in it, and then one that has printed napkins. This all under here in the back is all scrapbook paper. Right before I started doing this, I pretty much talked myself into getting rid of all that paper. That whole section is scrapbook paper. There's more scrapbook paper there. That's been there since I moved here, and I think I might have used one sheet of paper out of there. I will have been here for 3 years in June. So in 2.5 years, I haven't touched that. So it's time for it to go. So that will open up that whole shelf down there, which will be awesome. A lot of this stuff here is just things that I thought would be fun to alter. I've got a big stack of books there to pull pages from for junk journals. Rubber stamps. That's a whole other issue that I'm trying to work through. That is another thing that I have not touched in forever. And look, those are all rubber stamps. Also, they're mostly Stampin' Up! Sets. I did take all of the sets apart and I organized them by category instead of having them together in their sets, because that's just how my mind works. I'm looking for an animal. I'm not like looking for a specific set that I know that animal's in. Or I'm looking for a flower. Well, you know, so many of those sets had flowers in them, but they were all scattered around in different sets. So I took all the flowers out and grouped those together. So that's what all of that is. I have not touched a rubber stamp in forever. I've been trying to get rid of these for a long time and I just can't do it, and I'm not sure why. But I would say I have not made a card. I have not done anything with any rubber stamps probably in over 8 years. I don't use them in my art journals. I don't use them in my mixed media. I don't use them in my planner. I don't use them at all. So for now, those are okay because they're up there out of the way. But yeah, I've got fabric and things like that. I've got a Cricut that I bought on sale super cheap at Michael's. I have never ever used it. I don't know if I ever will. More fabric, some boxes, and just things like that. This is all recycled paper from work. I need to sort through it. I need to keep what I know I'm going to use and recycle the rest. A lot of those I use for pages in the recycled journals that, the recycled paper journals that I make. So I need to go through that and get rid of a lot of stuff. I know there's some things over there that I don't think I'm ever going to use. And then I've got just a few sewing supplies over here. I've got my serger that I've had forever that has never been out of the box. And I used to sew all the time. I used to do quilts. I did lap quilts and things like that. I sewed clothes for my kids. I will not get rid of my sewing machines or anything, but I do need to have that sorted better. I've got some cross stitching supplies. I've got DMC floss. I've probably pretty much done every single craft that you can think of. And I know that there's some things that I will get back to and do again, especially stitching, slow stitching, things like that. So I am keeping all of those things, but in order for me to keep them nicely, I need to purge out a lot of this stuff. So this is my crazy messy closet. I think actually here I'm going to put all the stuff that I use to make journals and things that I sell in my shop, and just projects that I sell. So that's where a lot of that is going to go, I think. The bummer part is with this is since, because this actually had rods in it and shelving units across this whole thing, and it's all covered up. So a big chunk of my closet is this stuff. So this is Nebraska. It's winter. It's actually, I think the real feel today is 2. I think we got down to 14, 15 below zero last night. It's cold. I have a lot of sweaters. I don't have any place to put them because my closet is full of all this. So I don't know if reorganizing things in here will help with that, if I'll make some space to at least stack some sweaters, maybe even just in these block spaces. That would be nice because then they wouldn't fall over. And then have the rest of this just art supplies. But that is where I am with all of this. And the rest of this is just utter chaos and mayhem. As far as my junk journaling things and all of my embellishments, I think I've talked myself into organizing it all by color, because that's just how my brain works. Is when I think of something, when I'm wanting to use something, I think of what color it is that I'd want to use. So I think I might organize some of that stuff by color, at least start it and see if that works, see if I like it. These came out of that closet. Joss paper, just mulberry paper, napkins, things like that. And then here is some of the tissue paper that I'm going to keep, and then I'm just going to get rid of all this because it's just stuff that I know I'm not going to use. I mean, the stuff I'm finding, you guys, it's like this. I went to cosmetology school after I graduated from high school. Why do I still have this? I opened it up because I was trying to remember what year, and I wrote that in 1987. So I was in school, in cosmetology school in 87. I graduated in 86, so that tells you how old I am. But I had written that in there because high school, one of my friends, classmate, had died in a car wreck. So I've had this book since 1987. I have no idea why am I keeping on to this, but there it is. I don't know, that might be some fun pages to put in a junk journal, but anyways, that's a quick check-in. It's crazy. Hi. And I absolutely hate this part. And you guys, I'm not even showing you like what's out my door and in the hallway, because there's all of the stuff that was on here, all of the books and whatnot that was on there. Those are in boxes and they're in the hallway. And I am going to go through all of those and purge out a big chunk of those books. I'm going to get a nice bookshelf and put it in the living room in the space where my record player used to be, because this used to be in my living room. I wasn't using it, and I tell you what, I used it all last night. So I played records all night long, and it was really awesome. So I'm going to stop for now and get to work, and I will check in later tonight, and hopefully we'll see a big, massive improvement with all of this. Okay, so we are back. It is what is today? Today's Wednesday, so I think I made that last video check-in on Sunday afternoon, Sunday morning. I'm not sure. This weekend is blur, and so has this past few days. So I just wanted to show you real quick where I am with what's going on in here, and I'm kind of at a stopping point. Basically, it's Kid Week, and there's always lots going on with that, and so I don't want to start pulling things out and making a big mess, just because it makes its way into the living room, and when my kids are here, I want all of our living spaces nice and clean and just tidy. So I still have my closet to do, a whole lot left in my closet. The biggest thing that I learned while working on all of this over the weekend is that I started getting a little anxious with doing things, and I had cleaned off everything off of the 2 bookshelves, and I knew that I wanted to put some things that were in my closet. I have a ton of supplies in my closet. I knew that I was wanting to put some things that were in my closet and on those shelves, and so I started taking the things out of my closet to put in here, and that got a little out of hand, and it got to be me all of a sudden getting into my mind that I needed to start doing the closet also. So I had this whole space was in disarray and things were pulled out, and then on top of that I started pulling stuff out of the closet, and by evening time I was a mess, and my room was a mess, and there was stuff everywhere. And I know that it always gets like that. I have reorganized my space so many times with the different places that I've been and lived, and the different areas that different spaces in my house that I've been able to use as a studio, as a workspace. And it always goes through that phase where it just feels like everything in your space is exploded and everything's pulled out, and for me it gets very overwhelming, and it makes me anxious having stuff all over the place, and then if I'm trying to find something I can't find anything because it's not where it's supposed to be. And so it got to be it was a lot. And I finally realized that what was causing me all of that stress and anxiety was the fact that I was thinking that I needed to start messing with the closet, and I didn't. I needed to kind of get this as settled as possible, and then I can start working on the closet. So once I figured that out, I reeled myself in and finished doing what I needed to, what I knew that I could work on as far as being in here. Everything that I know goes in the closet, I put it back in the closet, and I'm saving that for, well, maybe next week. I don't want to start it this week. So that's there. That's okay. I've got the hallway. Back in the hallway, I have boxes stacked full of books that I need to go through. I still have a lot of things that I need to go through, and I might kind of do that bit by bit through this week so that I'm still using my time in the evening to do things and to work on things, and I'm making progress, but I'm breaking it down a little bit in manageable steps for me during my work week. My weeks are packed. I work, Monday through Friday, and well, 7.5 hours. I get home, back and forth, taking the kids back and forth to school, and then I also work in the evening, 2-3 nights in the evening. Plus, I work Saturday morning at a different job. So it's a lot whenever I've got the kids on top of all of that too. So on the weeks that I don't have them, I really have a little bit more time to where I can focus on things, and I can kind of put a lot of stuff in the living room and bring stuff in here bit by bit and work on it, so it's just easier for me to manage. So I try to do things like that, things like this, when it doesn't affect everybody else. So yeah, it was a lot, and I will show you what I've done. The biggest epiphany that I had was I finally told myself that it's time to let go of some things that I've had forever. Things, you always have that, well, what if, well, I might need this later, and the kids might need this and this and that and whatnot. And you know what? There's been things in there that I've had in there that I haven't touched at all the entire time that I've been here, and I will have been here for 3 years in June. And a lot of those things, I know whenever I packed them up and brought them here from the house, that I hadn't touched them for years there at the house. So it's got to go. I am going to get rid of all my scrapbook paper. I have got a whole shelf full of scrapbook paper. I don't scrapbook anymore. I don't make cards. I don't use it in my journals, that type of paper in my journals. It's just sitting there taking up an entire shelf, and I need that space for stuff that I know that I'm working on and that I enjoy and that I love. So that's gonna go. I already know where it's going. I'm taking it actually to school, and school's gonna use it, the teachers can use it, but I'm giving a big part of it to our after school care, because they always have art projects every single day that they work on. And so I know, and actually they are super excited to get that paper. So I'm anxious to get to that shelf. I can't even get to that shelf right now because it's covered with stuff in front of it. But so they are getting that. I'm giving them all of my ink pads, my stamp pads, and I am giving them a big portion of my rubber stamps, all of my foam stamps that I have. They are taking all that, and they need it, and they are ready for it, and they're super excited. So that's the other big thing that I finally decided to let go of, and it's all of my rubber stamps. I don't use them. I started buying rubber stamps back in probably 1997, 98, when Stampin' Up! Started getting really big, and I was a Stampin' Up! Person for a little while. I have thousands of stamps, and they have been in plastic tubs for years. They have not been cracked open for probably 8 or 9 years, and they're in my room. They're taking up space. I have a bunch of other stamps that are more kind of like collage type looking stamps, and I'm going to get rid of those too. I don't use them. I don't stamp in my journals. I don't stamp in my mixed media. I don't stamp in my planner. I could, and I've got lots that would be super cute in it, but I just don't. I like seeing other people's pages that do that, but I just don't, I don't want it in my stuff. It's just not for me anymore. And so they're going. And that was a huge thing. Whenever I finally decided that, when I was in that closet messing around doing stuff, when I finally decided that, I just felt this huge weight just come off of me. It's like, okay, I'm finally, for some reason, to this point to where I know that I don't need this. And once I had that realization, everything that I looked at in my space just kind of changed. It was is this something that I know that I'll use, or is it something that I think that I'll use, so I'm going to put it over here just in case? And that thinking that I'm going to use it because I see other people doing it, and so, well, then I have to do it too because everybody else is doing that, and I'm going to make myself do this because this is what's in style, or this is the current trend, or things like that. I have collected so much stuff because of that, but I haven't used it, and it's taking up space and it's piling up. And I was finally like, no, that's it. I'm done. I'm done. I don't have the space for it. I don't have the time for it. I don't want it in my area anymore. It needs to go. It's causing weight on me. It's causing weight in my room, and it's a burden. And once I did that, then I started getting rid of things left and right. I had so much paper that I got rid of, paper that wasn't usable, a lot of like ephemera type stuff that was it could go. And so I had probably 3 paper sacks full of paper to be recycled. I went through both of those big, huge blue tubs that I had been just saving stuff to use in my junk journal. I re-looked at a lot of that stuff, and I was like, no, I've had this in here forever. I haven't used it. I have no desire to use it. It needs to go. So I did that, and it felt really good. And because this is my room, this is my bedroom. I sleep in here. So any visual clutter that I have around here in my studio, it affects my peace in my space, in my personal space, in my room. And it was just really starting to press in on me. So as you will see, I've gotten rid of quite a bit of things. I slimmed down on things. Even just behind me, there were books on this one side. There were books that were practically stacked to the ceiling, reading books. And over here in this corner, I moved my drawers, which was another big thing. My plastic drawers with all my collage elements, I took those out from the corner so I don't have this big black just mass of drawers. And I had my printer on top of it, so it was super high. It was just super cluttered. I took the things off the end of my work area here. It was piled high. It was stacked up. Once again, it was just dark, and it was just stuff, and it wasn't stuff that I need right there. And I'm still not 100% sure what's going to go on in this corner and how I'm going to use it. But for now, what I've got is just going to kind of how it's going to be until I work things out. And that will change as I start moving some of the things back in here, especially with going on over here. I do have some space right there. Those are actually empty. And the bookshelf is going to be a little bit of a work in progress as I feel things out to see how I want them. But I will pick you up and turn you around and let you see what I've done and go through that really quick. And yeah, I'm super excited, and I feel when I walk in, I'm just like, oh, I feel so much better in here. Saturday night, even after I picked Gracie up, we got home so late. We got home at it was about 12:45. So I had, we got up at 3:30. I had her at school by 5 a.m. Her show choir competition went from 6:30 in the morning until 10:45 at night. And then they had to drive home. It was snowy and yucky, and picked her up, stopped by Taco Bell it was 12:30, a little bit later, and there was a line. There was this huge line at Taco Bell. It's like, well, you know, it was Saturday night, and what else are you gonna do Saturday night, you know, at 12:30 is go through the Taco Bell drive-through. So here we were, both of us were completely exhausted, and we're sitting in the drive-through at Taco Bell, just sitting there going, and she was starving, and what, you know, and so we did it. But oh my gosh, we got home, and she came in here to talk to people for a minute, and she was just exhausted. I felt so terrible for her. You could just tell that she was just completely exhausted. But she walked in and she just perked up and looked around. She's like, oh my gosh, I love it. She's like, you know, this looks great, Mom. She's like, it feels so much better in here. It feels so much lighter in here. So that made me feel good. And she's exactly like me. We are a lot alike. So the whole feeling with things, and just how your environment affects you and presses on you and things like that. She gets it. And so because she's exactly the same as I am. So she really she approves of everything that I've done in here. So that makes me feel good. But I will stop and I will turn you around and I'll show you real quick what I've done. And then it'll probably won't be until next week or so before I do another video as far as what I've done, because I really don't think that anything out here that you'll see will happen much. It's going to be a lot of kind of behind the scenes type stuff as I purge out the books. I've got 6-8 boxes full of books to go through, and just stuff like that. So I also need to buy a bookshelf to put in my living room so that I have a place to house these books. So I need to do that. But I will switch you around and I'll show you what I've done. All right, so this is, well, the view of where I was standing just now talking to you. So here's my window that I like to stand in front of and work out of. It's a beautiful sunny day. We finally have sun. It has been cloudy and gloomy for weeks. So if there is a glare, I apologize, but you have no idea how excited I am that there is sunshine outside. So this all stayed the same, but it just feels a lot less cluttered. I think I might move my my IKEA cart that has all my paint in it. I need to go through that and purge out all of my paints in it that have dried up, which I hate to say, and it's embarrassing to say, probably half of those need to go in the trash. But I think I might move that to be under here and under that space and have all of my painting stuff right there under my easel. That has a little shelf on it. I need to go through that and organize all that, but that is for another time. One of the big things that I did was I moved out those, there were 2 stacks of the drawer units, and it had my printer sitting on top of it. That's right there. This is actually that goes out on my balcony that I had plants on it, but I had moved it inside because I had to move all my plants inside during winter, and it didn't have anything on it. And so I thought, well, I'll put that right there for now. So right now I just have, these are all the journals that I currently work in. I have no idea what I'm going to do with this space or how I'm going to use that, if it's going to stay there or what. But for now, it's just kind of serving a little bit of a purpose, so I'm going to leave it. But just moving that big black monstrosity out of there has made such a difference in how the corner here looks, because that was just, it was tall and dark, and having that gone has been I am very happy with that. So what I ended up doing was I moved, so these are now my drawers that have all of my collage images in it. All I did was just move the drawers over into here. So now all of this stuff is right here. I work right here, or I work right here. So now all I have to do is open up these doors, and they're right there. Before, when I needed something, sometimes to even get over there in the corner, I had to wiggle through here and try to pull the drawer open, and I had other stuff in the way, and it was a pain. So having these here is going to be awesome. So I've got that. That was a big thing. This is all the same. I had a black milk carton here that I had books in it that weren't art related or anything whatsoever. It was just kind of ones that I thought that I would read or I wanted close out. I had a couple of planner type things in there. Was not using any of that. And sitting on top of it was one of those blue bins full of junk journaling stuff. So that was stacked up really high. And I actually had one of those blue bins with junk journaling stuff sitting on top next to the printer. So this was just full of stuff. Right now, I've just got some of my supplies that I use a lot for during doing my collage, and then this is just the basket that I've got stuff in it that I pull things out of here and there. That's in that place right now. I don't know if it's going to stay there. Sometimes I have that basket sitting over here, but that makes this kind of heavy, and I don't want to be putting a lot of weight on my easel, because this easel is it goes up, or you can have it level like that. So I like having it so that I can be there and work. And also when I do my mixed media, a lot of times I work with my canvas flat, so I don't really work with the easel up and the canvas tilted. So right now I just leave it like this. So this was huge, clearing that off, and once again it just like has opened up this whole corner of my my studio. So I need to go through that. The underneath of there was totally full of magazines, though. That's the first batch of magazines that I had gone through and purged out. These next two areas have a lot of junk journaling type things. I get in that section a lot. I'm not sure if I want to leave that the way that it is, or if I want to take those things out and organize them over here in these bins, because that is where everything from those blue tubs are at as right now, as well as a lot of the drawers from the drawer unit over there on the side. So I might do that. If I do, I actually might be weeding down some of these IKEA carts to where I don't have 3, which would be kind of nice. I love these carts, but if I don't need it, then I don't want it in my space. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. I didn't touch anything back behind there. That has more drawer units that have more different types of embellishments in it. It has a lot of buttons, ribbons, more of the bulky type things, not more of the scrapbooky type things. So that I need to go through also. I haven't done that yet. I don't know if I'm going to leave it there or not. I haven't fully decided. Everything over here on this side has stayed the same. Everything here has stayed the same. That is another project for another day. This is all paints up there on this side. This is all books that can be used as journals. I think I might take those out. Underneath did have a bunch of magazines in it. Those are all over here now, and I'm going to go through those. So the underneath of this is going to be opened up quite a bit. So when I have that space open, then I'll kind of think about all of that more. I did take everything off of the top there except for my little Bob Ross things. That was piled with a bunch of my children's artwork that I'm going to frame. I took that out, and I'm going to work on that stuff later as I can, but I move those into space where they're protected more, and they're just not up there causing a lot of stuff up there on the top. I usually have a plant up in there in the corner, but it doesn't like it in here during the winter because most of the time it's freezing and I have to keep my curtains shut, and so it's like a cave in here, so all my plants died. So that's one big thing that I kind of miss right now, and I'm gonna try to be working on that more, is where to put some plants. I used to have I had 5 plants in here, and now I have 0. So, but I don't have sunshine, and they were all really upset and not happy with me and trying to die. So, that is for another day also. The other big thing that I did was I moved my record player in here. I am so excited that I did that. I did that Saturday after I got off work. So I got home from work about 10 o'clock. First thing I did was move that in here. And I played albums the entire time, that whole night that I was working in here on Saturday and Sunday. And it has made me so happy. I just can't even begin to describe it. So that's my my record player and my albums, and that's pretty much the only place for that where that can be, and I think it's okay. At first I was a little worried because it seems like, you know, there's just stuff like everywhere, but with getting rid of everything off the top of that, with having all this organized in these clean white bins, I think that kind of helps keep it, you know, not so visually crazy. And let's see, for the shelves right now in these bins, I have got all of that junk journaling type stuff, paper ephemera, tags. I had specialty papers like vellum and mulberry paper. Just anything like that is now in all of these bins, and with me and how my head is, they are organized by color. So I've got things organized by color, because that is how my brain works the best whenever I'm doing things. Is I don't think, oh, I'm doing this page, I want to put a tag on here. I think, I'm doing this page, I want something that is blue. You know, then I would go start looking through my stack of things that are blue, and then I would find what I needed. So since after I figured out that that's how I work on things, then I pretty much sorted everything that I have by color. All of my embellishments are sorted by color. All of my paints are sorted by color. All of my papers are sorted by color. If I can sort it by color, I will, and that's how it is. Let's see, what else do I have here? So this one's got just like doilies and tissue paper, the deli paper, tissue paper type stuff. I have one that's just like tiny scraps of paper, because I use those, and now I've got them all in one place. And if you have checked out any of the couple of daily collage pages that I've done, it's fun to just take these little bits and make just really simple little clusters to put in my journal. And I use them for other things too. I tuck them in around things, and so this was a very good bin for me to have, because I use these little itty bitty teeny tiny pieces of paper all the time. This one actually is all tags. I decided to keep all the tags together because a lot of times I do just grab a tag, and that way they are all there. This is, I'm not exactly sure what this, oh, this is just kind of some plastic envelopes and things like that. I don't know if this is going to stay here, but for now I kind of had a lot and I had an empty bin, so that's what I did. I've got a bunch of these egg roll envelopes. I've put those in my junk journals and things like that. So that's what this is. I have vintage, just antique paper in here, music paper, just things like that. And these are the books that I use to clip words and phrases from. So they're just fiction books. And then this was kind of some papers that I wasn't exactly sure what to do about. A lot of them, some of it is just some vintage type things, and I just don't know. And they'll actually might end up over in that drawer unit with the other collage type papers, but I'm not sure. All of these down here, these are all books that I use for collage, to get collage images out for collage. All these are my plants, flowers books, all my butterfly books, and then just old books to get paper from. More books that I get images for collage from. These in these drawers, this is a lot of clipped words and phrases. When I tell you I have a million of them, I'm not kidding. So these are all words and phrases that I've clipped out of magazines. And then This is paper from Tangi Baxter when she had collage paper in one of her monthly membership things that she used to have. I don't know if she still does it anymore. I have a ton of her papers. I absolutely love them. These are all of the just the smaller pieces that were cut off from the bigger sheets. In one of my journals that I have, I use all of her papers exclusively just because I love them and I love how they look in that journal. So I keep all of those here. All of her other papers that I have in full sheets, they are over in this, they're right here. And guess what? They're organized by color. So that's where those are. This is another thing that I am going to work on that I'm not sure how I want to do that. But for now, that's that. I don't even know what's in here. Oh, these are just zines and stuff. So this is kind of taking up space. Here. This is also from Tangi Baxter. So she had these little zines that came out with it. Let's see. These are books that could be used for journals. These are books that I have actually started working in and haven't done anything else with because they were back in the closet and I forgot about them. And I've got one here that somebody asked for me to do a flip through with, and I'll do that really fast at the end of this. These are empty. I just had them, so I sat them there. And these were in the closet also. So all of this stuff was in my closet. So these were also in my closet, but I've got napkins, the pretty printed napkins, joss paper, specialty papers, which is like vellum and mulberry paper and just clear transparencies, and then tissue papers. So that is what I have in here right now. Then just up on top is a lot of, that basket's full of a lot of the cards that I've made or things that people have sent me. So that was big. That was a lot to do all that. I'd take you in my closet, but I'm not because it is a mess, and it would serve no purpose to have you see what's going on in there. But for now, this is what I've got. So some of the options that I have to think about to work on next is I can either kind of start figuring out what to do with those. I might go ahead and clean that one out, move it over there. But anything that I do these next few days through the rest of this week, it's, look, so you can see that's what's going on outside, out my hallway. So those are boxes that I brought home to put books in to get rid of. And then those bins down there, those were the ones that were over here. And those have all the scrapbooky type embellishments and stickers and things like that. So all of that is going to go pretty much. So the other thing that I did was I had a, an end table there that was big and bulky. It had 3 drawers in it. I had that forever. It was from the other house, and it took up a lot of space, and I just needed to go. So I have it out in the living room. I need to get it moved out of here because it's like I said, it's from the other house. It needs to go. I'm trying to kind of get rid of anything from that time and start having things that are mine. So I felt good to get that out. It was really bulky and wide there. It made this area here just even more cluttered. I wasn't able to move my easel over any if I needed to, but I just put some of my own personal reading books in there and, tissues and all that stuff on there. That was a little shelf that was my mom's, that she always had all of the things in it that she loved. So I thought that I would put that there, and I'm kind of liking it there. So that is my space. I tried to do this quickly. I didn't want to take up a lot of time, but this is how it looks. And I'm super, super excited about it. I'm really glad that I've done this. It feels really good to have opened up some of my space, and to know that I'm just getting rid of things that I don't need and just don't need to have here. So I'm gonna put you up over here and have you look down, and I'm gonna flip through this journal really super fast. There's only a couple pages in it that I've done, but somebody over on my Instagram had requested that I do a flip through of it, and so I'm going to go ahead and just do that now, and then I will say goodbye. Okay, so let's look at this journal real quick. I haven't the faintest idea where I got this. I do not remember. It's just a little, well, it's cookbook. I don't remember buying it, so I don't have the faintest idea where this came from or what possessed me to decide to start doing a journal in it. Probably, well, besides the fact that it was ring bound and I thought it would work good for a journal. So I had to go back and even like look it up to see when I had made these pages and what for. I must have left this blank because scrolling back forever in my feed, I discovered that this is, it was where I had started NaNoJomo. So in NaNoJomo 2016. So I probably left this open so that I could put something here with each of the prompts on there for NaNoJomo, which that was the other thing, is sometimes, a lot of times I didn't do the prompts, sometimes I did. I was trying to go along with the prompts with this. So these are just pages. This one was up in a tree. It was the prompt. And so there's that, just some collage. This one was in bloom. And I just, you know, I like how that's got the black and white with the growing color. This was my favorite one that I did. I still absolutely love this. And here, let me go. I remember making this and just having a blast. So the prompt for this one was fashion. And when I looked at the post for this, I mentioned how I had Googled quotes about fashion, and this quote from Lady Gaga is what had come up, and it says, "And now I'm just trying to change the world one sequin at a time," and that is what inspired this page. So this was a lot of fun. So I just glued down a bunch of colorful sequins. This one I don't remember. I think actually it was Smashing Pumpkins was the prompt, and I don't remember. But I tried to do mixed media in this, and the pages did not like what I threw at it. And so, but it's still really cool. So this is just some cardboard, some modeling paste, and a bunch of fluid acrylics, I'm sure. But that's how that page turned out. And then I skipped I don't know if I skipped a day or what, but here was the next page. I didn't try to find on my feed what the prompt was for this, because apparently like the day after I had done this, I had gone to I had gone to our botanical gardens, and so then there was a whole bunch of pictures on there from the botanical gardens. So but here's the last one, and that's it. That's as far as I got with NaNoJomo 2016. I don't know why I stopped. I kind of can imagine a little bit. 2016. I don't know if me trying to put this in here and it messing up so much, I don't know if that frustrated me to where I thought that the whole journal was just going to be a mess or what, but that's it for these pages. So I don't even know if NaNoJomo went on past then. It might have another year, I'm not sure, but that's it. That's this little journal. Okay, so that's it for my tour for right now of my studio and where I am as of today, February 1st. Today's February 1st. I can't believe that it's February. So if you have any questions, please be sure to ask them in the comments, or just whatever, just let me know and I will get back with you as soon as I can. I am way behind on answering all that. I got busy and engrossed in doing all this, and I am behind on that whole part of all of this. So please be patient with me, and I will get back with you and answer your questions as soon as I can. I am not going to be posting probably anything about any of this for at least through the rest of the week, as I had said. Lots going on. Kids are here, and my schedules just on Kid Week are completely different than they are on No Kid Week. So I am going to work on my next couple pages in my daily collage journal. I only have a couple more, and then that little booklet's done, and I'll get to move into another booklet. And thanks for being with me through this part so far. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it's inspired you or given you some ideas, or just having you here with me and knowing that you all are supporting me through all this is helping me out more than you know. So I do appreciate it. I am so thankful and grateful to each and every one of you for being here, for watching, for subscribing, for a thumbs up, just for those things, yeah, but most of all, just having you here means everything to me. So thank you so much. I will get this one done and get busy with the next project, and I will just be sure to be following me on Instagram, because I do post a lot there with what I'm doing. So it's an easy platform for me to use, just to post and just check in with how things are going. Always post just maybe little snippets of while I'm working on a page and things like that, or just whatever, just day-to-day whatever. So please follow me there. Thank you again. Have a wonderful day. I hope the sun is shining wherever you're at, because it's here and it's wonderful. So thanks so much again, and take care, everybody, and I love you a lot, and bye-bye.